Well, it's week 8 of LCS here on the final day with coverage brought to you by Alienware, and I'm here with HotshotGG, who's going to break down everything that just happened in CLG's game that he just watched. So what was the strategy going into that draft, George?
Win really hard.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, I understand. Okay, and how much did you and the team work on this strategy together going into today?
There's a lot of working to be done, and a lot of working that was done.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
No, okay. Setting aside this stuff, we were talking about this. You haven't been to the studio, I think, since early 2020, because a lot of us haven't been here for a while. But what's it like for you, your first day back into the studio?
A lot of new faces. That's the one thing that I've noticed. Also, I don't get swarmed a lot, which is kind of nice. People don't really remember an old dinosaur like me, so that's good.
But is it fun at all? Hey, here's one thing that's different than the last time you were here. Your team is doing well. So has that been exciting to see? I don't know how much you've been following along this. I know obviously you have other ventures, but
Yeah. Now I'm not like soaking into the couch in depression. Now I'm just like soaking in the couch in glory. You know,
great,
it's great. It's great.
Yes. No, but what is it? Is it nice to see the team doing well? How much is it like you just watch them win and you're in the audience? Like, how does it bring back old feelings of watching the old teams win, or what's it like to watch them on stage, and especially since they're doing well?
Yeah, I mean, it gets me pretty excited. I get pretty hopeful. I think the most important thing is always like how you do in playoffs. Like, season's always season, and to see them win potentially when the playoffs come around, I think that'll be the real hype. Yes. But, you can't get your hopes too high or else they come crashing down, Travis.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're spoken like a true CLG fan. I have something to say to you, though, which is if you don't have faith, why are you even here, George? All right? Surely you have faith that your team can make Worlds, right?
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, they'd be playing not in the same arena, but in the MSG theater, so I'm sure that there's that's got to be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
CLG won its first trophy in MSG for those that haven't been following it that long. Anyway, what else have you been up to lately? Because I know you're just like a ghost. Every now and then you pop up on a Twitch stream and everybody's like, oh my God, it's Hotshot, and then you disappear again.
Yeah, I've just been enjoying life, enjoying the California sun, working on my mental health, stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like you're kind of like esports' Tom from MySpace. Like, he sold MySpace, and then everybody's like, oh, and then he just went off and had a good time. And now I feel like that's you with CLG. It's like you sold to MSG, and now you get to just relax.
Yeah, maybe. I help out with like a mental health nonprofit right now, too.
Right, yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I've forgotten you were doing that with Brian Tran and folks, right?
Yeah. So my friend Jason runs a mental health nonprofit called Rise Above the Disorder. So if you're in need of any mental health support, they provide free healthcare if you can't afford it, or if you can't afford it, they'll match you up with a therapist, which is usually like a very challenging process.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of born out of like the gaming community too, right?
Yeah. It's born out of the gaming community. He's like an ex-WoW player, and if you want to get good at League of Legends, you got to keep the mental from booming, and no better way than to, invest in it.
Yeah. That's the pitch. What is it like for you, kind of going back to League of Legends stuff, what is it like for you now to sort of see where the LCS is with all these big name teams and all that stuff? I think this year they're trying to kind of cultivate some of those old school feelings again of grassroots community content and all that stuff. So what's it like for you as somebody who's been around for so long to sort of see that where the place is that LCS is today?
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many familiar faces. As I was saying, I don't really get recognized. So we're entering in like a new age where, new people, new faces, and legacies have to be born. And that takes time. A lot of people are hyping up like players like Danny, but for me, it's like, my man just got in. You got time to prove.
Yes.
Everybody's got time to prove, at least in this new iteration.
Yeah. That's very, very well said. Well, anyway, I'm sure a lot of fans are happy to hear how you're doing. Is there anything that you want to say to any of, maybe even the CLG fans out there? Because I see every now and then a thread pops up on the CLG subreddit. It's like, it'd be really cool to hear from Hotshot. How's he doing? So, I don't know. Anything you want to say to any of those folks?
glad you guys are still sticking in there in the CLG subreddit. I pop in every now and then. You guys are crazy, but I love you.
You know, one of my favorite games is Zelda, and that's because I love Link. Speaking of links, there's a link in the description to Alienware, and something that we are doing differently that I've never done with them before is now if you use that link to purchase a product, a portion of that will come back to TGI. So I know some of you guys use the promo codes. It's always really cool. But please, 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 if you're going to make an Alienware purchase or even a Dell purchase, go through that link because it will definitely help me out if like a bunch of you guys are doing that. Maybe I will finally be able to get that yacht that I've been looking at.